And good morning, everyone. What a tremendous show today was. They were some brilliant young people and some really brilliant old guys sitting in here and talking about the music business. And to Brother Jeff, we opened the Brother Jeff show talking about Jesse Jackson. So we go to open lines, 303-696-1971. So it's open lines. Anything goes. Catch can, talk radio. Last week, Joel Oltmann called the radio show, and it squared itself away, and I had invited him to come into the studio next Saturday. He cannot. He had to cancel his appearance, but he rebooked for the week after that. So that's the update on that. So he will not be with us next Saturday, but rather a week from Saturday. We started some open lines on a pending war. Is the United States of America about to go back into another shooting war in the Middle East, this time with the Iranians? 303-696-1971. Your thoughts about it. Is this war going to happen? 303-696-1971. And again, whatever you'd like to do, whatever you'd like to chase, if you want to talk about any of the stuff that Chuck talked about, or the young man, Stefan, was great. Loved him. He'll be back. So anyhow, there's a bunch of email we can catch up on, or text messaging. We can catch up on all of that if you want. But it is your turn. 303-696-1971 is the phone number. And as I mentioned, Joe Oltmann will be with us a week from this coming Saturday. And hopefully we can have a special guest with him as well. Jonathan Flora will be part of next week's show as well. And, of course, I'm just amazed when I listen to these guys sit and talk about what artificial intelligence is about to do. We have which one of our newscasts, Adam, is the AI cast? One of them.
You'll hear it at the top of the hour.
At the top of the hour, it's an AI cast. I mean, that's just amazing that the newscast there's not a person there. And the one that started the show this morning was about what's going to happen if, in fact, and what do you think, is the United States of America about to get into a shooting war once again into the Middle East? So I'm going to take a quick turnaround. 303-696-1971. Load them up. It is your turn. It's a Saturday morning. I'm Peter Boyles. Hang on.
Your 710 KNUS forecast is Saturday. Sunny and warmer today, highs in the middle 40s. Clear and chilly tonight, lows down to 20. Sunny on Sunday, warming up nicely into the lower 50s with overnight lows in the mid 20s. We'll see temperatures back in the 60s and 70s for the work week ahead. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
morning again, everyone. It is Saturday, the 21st of February, 2026. Good old 710 KNUS. We are Denver's talk station. In open lines, we'll go to the phones. We have one line open. Let's go to Dino in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Dino, my man, good morning.
Studstall, how you doing, Peter?
Good.
Got some news for you in a minute, whatever. If one of your themes is on this attack of Iran or whatever, I don't know what's going on. Obviously, it wouldn't be a prolonged war, these surgical strikes. There'll be retaliations forever, but I don't know. Somebody's getting paid. That's all I could say.
What's your best?
It's going to be money involved.
What's your best bet?
I'm sorry.
What are you watching?
He's going to strike. Oh, yeah, he's going to strike. I don't know when and where. He'll be out. I think it'll start out surgically, then he'll see what they do. And then he'll go real heavy artillery. I don't know. He already did what old Pam Bondi once did about talking about the Epstein files. He said he's going to help those people that were slaughtering all the protesters in the street of Tehran. So Trump's not going to back out now. That's what I think.
Do you expect the war to begin or the strike to take place this weekend?
Excellent point. I have no idea on him. He said within 10 days, he probably won't wait till 10 to the 14 days. I think it'll be this week sometime. I don't think like tomorrow or anything of that nature.
And what do you expect the outcome?
I had to guess.
What do you expect the outcome to be? Seriously.
Well, he'll cripple a lot of their cities, he'll wipe out a lot. I think if it's really bad, the regime, the Ayatollahs are going to have a escape route. They'll go up either to Moscow or China will take them in, or so they're going somewhere. I don't think any other Muslim country wants to take them. They'll be bad on. They'll be on Trump's bad side.
Is that our fight?
Good point. They have been ever since the Beirut tragedy, 1983, the blown up of the Marine base, and Reagan pulled out the people. They've been trying. They sponsor terrorism throughout the world. They're the number one country to do it. They've gone after the Americans as much as they want to. If you talk about geographically, no, it's just one side. They have to, like you always used to say, let the Arabs and the Muslims take care of themselves.
But why is this country? One of the campaign promises was to stay out of these foreign wars.
Yep.
Now
he mentioned that. Yeah.
Now we're not.
I don't know what to tell you.
Venezuela.
Just. He just said the surgical.
Go ahead.
Well, I think he took Venezuela oil to make sure maybe China and Russia couldn't get to it. If that makes sense. That's how much we need there is that if we have enough of our own. I'm just saying.
No, they will buy oil. I mean, one of the things that you know about the OPEC countries or the Five Sisters, they buy from the most despicable human beings on earth, and they sell to the most despicable people on earth. There's no.
All money's green.
That's exactly right. I mean, when you think about who they buy, who oil is bought from, and who oil is sold to, there's not much of a line there, is there?
Before I hang up, I got two real quick points. I was going to bring up one thing. That's I follow the papers here all the time. Are they really serious about decriminalizing prostitution in Colorado?
Yeah.
They think that's a bill. Well, that'll let Hickenlooper and Hancock, they'll be at ease.
Well, I was going to say Michael Hancock was a customer of Denver. And actually, Denver Players and Sugar operated, from the best of my knowledge, from listening to people speak. Have you ever been into a house of prostitution, say in Germany or Amsterdam, or gone where the government runs?
I know people have. They're totally regulated. I agree.
Absolutely.
With what you were to say. Yeah, what you were to say. It's the slightest violation, it's shut down.
Well,
if that's going to happen in America, I don't know.
My brother took me into one, and my ex-wife had to stay outside. They didn't let women walk through. But my brother took me. We walked through in Frankfurt, Germany, and it was cold and it was winter, and we walked through it, and they had the police were there, and the women had like little cubicles, apartments, and they were dressed like, I remember one woman was dressed like a Viking warrior, and one woman was in leather and a bunch of different stuff. But they had their health certificates, doctors and this is all, it was before AIDS, but there were the doctor's paperwork was on the wall where you could read it, and when was the last time that she had had a physical, and there were German cops on the floors so nobody got out of line, and it was a business, and there was no pimp, there was no trafficking, there was no beating a woman up, there wasn't any of the stuff that goes with what's called the pimp system, and for the life of me, I couldn't find a victim in the crime. I thought this.
Well, no, I agree. It's regular. That's what they're trying to do. Colorado's trying to lead the way, I guess.
And so,
one final thing,
okay.
But
you say.
Well, I was going to say, real quick, I really enjoyed Chuck Morris. I know he's a big. Him and Barry. Well, Barry used to gamble with my dad. He was on a horse track together a lot in the past, towards the end of his lives. Big gambler, smart as hell. He owned horses at the end too. His career, sure.
We were talking about off air. He owned a horse called Rays, and he had a horse called the Denver Dream. Those were the two horses.
Yeah, he also they won big stake races out in California for him and all that stuff. In 1983, I'll be real quick before I the sad news for you. I'll get that in a second. He won a big handicap spot down in Las Vegas, a horse handicap. He picked $104,000 for 1983.
No, I know.
Big bucks.
Also,
they announced on ESPN.
You say.
Go ahead.
No, you were going to say something.
Well, it was really sad. Yeah, I'm going to jump before other callers come in. They announced on ESPN this morning one of your boyhood heroes has passed. Bill Mazeroski passed away.
Billy Maz.
Today.
No, I didn't even see that.
89. He was 89. He was 89. It just happened. Yeah, this has been reported on ESPN. They went through his. He was the son of a coal miner.
Yes,
he was from West Virginia.
Yes, he was.
Tough.
No, but those guys. I mean, Billy Maz. For people that don't know, and why should you? But he won. They beat the Yankees, and they should have never beaten the Yankees. The Pirates were not the team to do it. It was Mantle and Mays. Not Mantle and Mays.
But sometimes the best teams don't always win. They deserved it, though. That's good.
Oh, but the Pirates beat them.
Oh, Pirates deserved it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. So the best stuff, that's an old saying goes, sometimes the best team doesn't always win. The Yankees were complaining about all that stuff. They got on. As a matter of fact, they were so embarrassed, they fired Casey Stengel 6 days later.
No, that was, I mean, and Casey was alcoholic. He was a drinker. And Billy Martin was a drinker.
Mets hired him then.
Yeah, and Mantle was a drinker. And,
Mickey was too.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, it's sad. He was 89. They had a good life, and they still have those big statues on him. The old Forbes Field.
Oh, absolutely.
With what's left of it. They reserved a couple of blocks on there.
Yeah, the ivy is there. My brother took me to see it, and it's the wall where Billy Maz put it in the ivy.
That's what they call it.
And it was.
They went ballistic. They deserved it too.
They let us out of school. It's like.
And one final thing, not to switch. Well, it was October of '60. Yeah. One final thing. That safe injection site they're supposed to do, that's safe, really, they should call it.
No.
The one on 8th and Lincoln, the old Los Central, is that idea done? They dropped that thing again?
I don't know. I hope not, but the way the city is, why not?
Yeah, no, that Johnson, unbelievable, that guy. Unbelievable.
You the man.
Oh, well. Listen, have a great week.
Thanks,
Take
brother.
it easy, Peter. Talk later.
Bye. Do we go here? Do we go? We go to line 2. Then put that back up. I'm sorry. Apologize. Line 2, Diane in Brighton. You're on a radio show. Good afternoon. Thank you.
I was there at the 1971 Jethro Tull concert with my brother. This is Gunga Din. But anyway, and it was really, it was such a surprise, We were caught off guard. All of a sudden, we couldn't breathe. We, coughing, and we just ran out of there.
That was the riot, the Jethro Tull.
That was the riot, Jethro Tull riot. Yeah, that he mentioned. So, and it was awful, and I knew that stuff, that tear gas is awful. I mean, really.
There's a reason.
Exactly. They break up a crowd. They don't have trouble breaking up a crowd. So, that was too bad too.
Everybody goes home.
Right. Yeah. And no concert. I mean, it was no. That was too bad. Well, okay, Peter, I
Thank
just
you,
wanted
ma'am.
to put my 2 cents in. Bye.
That's kind. Thank you. All right, we go to Nick. Nick in Denver, you're on a radio show. Nick, good afternoon. Thank you. Nick.
Oh, you caught me off guard because I was told I'd be on in about 4 minutes.
Oh, well, we lied.
This is a general question.
All right.
I think this country should stay out of other people's problems
Both of us.
as a general. But if you have a country that has repeatedly said, we're going to kill you and nuke you, and they're constantly trying to get these weapons and developing them on their own, what do you do about that? Do you wait for a Pearl Harbor situation before you do anything, or you do a preemptive strike?
Well, I think, first of all, it's important to understand how you got here. And there's not a whole lot of how we got here. We got here a little rough. And when you watched all this stuff happen with Saddam and you watch these things happen, that's not lost on these guys. I am by no means am I defending the mullahs or the ayatollahs, but they also have the world through their eyes is quite a different world than the world through the eyes of most Americans. And remember, we went there. It wasn't like, and you ask yourself, what would you do if suddenly a land army appeared in New Jersey that was a Shia, they were bringing with them Islamic law, they brought it in and they were invading you. What do you think you would do?
Well, the obvious answer is that you would start defending yourself. What I'm saying is it is obvious that we made some horrible diplomatic mistakes in the past.
Well,
they cannot be changed. They were done.
They were more than diplomatic.
Okay, we've made these mistakes. Hopefully we've learned something, but how do you move forward? What do you do with a country that keeps saying, now let me give you an example. For years and years and years, we were in negotiations with North Korea not to get a nuke. But negotiations after negotiations after negotiations, at the end of the day, they get nukes.
But let me interject. When that happened, and remember when George W. Bush names the axis of evil, and he makes the claim that the Saddam was behind 9/11, which was a total lie, or Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, another total lie, and he named Rocket Man, and when he named 3 countries: Iran, Iraq, and North Korea, and then he goes up the street and he does attack the one country that had nothing to do with 9/11. So what did the other 2 countries do? They get hostile. Do you want to hang on and talk through a break? You want to talk through a break? All right,
Sure.
put them on hold. There's one line open. History is so significant and so important. We'll do a turnaround. It's Saturday. There's a line open. 303-696-1971. I'm Peter Boyles. Hang on. 710 KNUS. Isley brothers. Are you kidding? Rudolph, Randolph, and O. Kelly Isley from Cincinnati, Ohio. Who's that lady? The Isley brothers. Wow. Surprise the old man. You pick them, we'll play them. 710 KNUS on a Saturday morning. And it's like blast us out of the past. Look, be honest, buying winter sports equipment can be overwhelming, and that's why you really need the true experts, not kids on temporary holiday jobs. I mean, you need John and the staff at Larson Ski and Sport. They live and they breathe the slopes, and they walk you through the great selections of skis and snowboards and jackets, name brands like Ride and Nitro and Vans, and they make sure that your boots fit right, and your bindings are safe, and your new jacket keeps you warm at 12,000 feet. You can rent, you can buy. You're always getting the best advice. Larson's. And John Marriott, his son Jack. Larson's the large wooden building just south of I-70 on Kipling. So you're going westbound on I-70, get off on the Kipling exit, come down the ramp, make a left, go. There's a tunnel, goes right under I-70, comes out on the other side, look to your right, look to the west, and there it is. 7 days a week, the big, large wooden building, Larson Ski and Sport. Get the best advice, the best gear. Stop in today and let them know Peter Boyles sent you. Larson Ski and Sport on Kipling, south of I-70, 303-423-0654. Tell them Peter Boyles sent you. Call them, larsonsport.com, 303-423-0654, and larsonsport.com. And Nick's on hold. He's back up on the job with us. We're talking about the United States of America and Iran, or what? Did we lose them? Okay. Well, we used to call the world Persia, was what Iran was called, and the dead Shah, the grandfather of this Shah, was a pretty tough warrior, and he united the country, and he called it. Remember, they're Aryans. They're not Semites. They're Arabs, and so Iran means the land of the Semites, named by Reza Pahlavi's father, Muhammad. And so now the Russians and they were then Joseph Stalin Soviets and Winston Churchill, and they overthrow the Shah's father. And they put the Shah on the throne, this Shah, the Ibid Shah, the Shah of Shahs. And so then there was an election, and in 1951, Iran nationalizes the oil industry, effectively seizing the assets of the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. And that was in 1951. And Mohammad Mossadegh was elected as the prime minister by the Parliament of Iran. Well, the British planned to invade Iran, and Harry Truman stopped the British to moderate their position and to negotiate. Well, the Iranians were there. There were epic environmental crimes. They were stealing the oil, and Mossadegh visited Washington, D.C., in fact, and the American government, Harry Truman, they talked about they were going to express support for him. Well, at the same time, the United States honors the British embargo, and without Harry's knowledge, the CIA, and this is one of the first times the CIA goes rogue, and not the last time, and they carry out covert actions against Mossadegh and the National Front, the people who nationalized the oil, and U.S. and Britain orchestrated a coup, and they overthrew the Iranian prime minister, Mossadegh, and they replaced the Shah. They put the Shah back on the throne. This Shah, the Shah that died. The Shah, he's the father of the sitting Shah known as Baby Shah. So after the coup, the United States plays a central role in reorganizing Iran's oil under U.S. pressure and all these Western companies, and that runs deep. And it's initially seen as like this Cold War success, but the coup becomes a source of really deep resentment. And like this new book that's out, it's called King of Kings, and I really recommend it. And it's the same guy that wrote the book with Lawrence in Arabia, not Lawrence in Arabia, but with Lawrence in Arabia, who really captured what the French and British did to the Arab world after the end of the First World War. So initially, this was a big Cold War success, and it becomes a deep resentment in the critics and the story. And so it goes. And so we sit there again. Jim in Denver, you're on the radio show. Thank you for waiting, and welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Pete. You know, and just what you're describing, you fast forward to the 1980s, and you have the incursions over there after the 8 oil tankers were shot out with silkworm missiles in the Straits of Hormuz.
And the Chinese make the Chinese make the silkworms.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, you know, right after that, they hatch this plot that ends up happening in 2001 in a different form. But in the 80s, they after we nationalized, you know, their oil and monetized their oil riches under their oil reserves under their soil, they came up with this thing called the Bojinka plot, and it never came to fruition in its natural form until a guy from Saudi Arabia put it all together and helped put it together and change it into the 9/11 plot. But it's all cause and effect. When you monetize someone's oil reserves in your currency and force them to put their currency riches, 92% of their oil revenues go in Federal Reserve banks, there's going to be some friction. And I want you to keep this one thing in mind. It doesn't matter if our Reagans and Bushes and our neocons move over into that region.
Well,
we are the liberals.
Yeah,
we are the liberals when we rub up against the actual conservatives on this planet.
When you saw the original guys, and it was Scoop Jackson and that era of politician, and they believed that they had the right to determine what was going to happen, and that's when OPEC shows up. And a sheikh by the name of Yumani. Remember Sheikh Yumani? And
yes,
they decided that they were going to weaponize oil. And it's under the Carter administration. And it's really quite brilliant. And the Arab world has lost many, many, many of its young men, particularly the Egyptians, in wars against the Israelis. So Jimmy Carter, to Sadat on one side, and I think it's Begin is the other, is the Israeli head of state. And it's Camp David Accords, and they broker a peace between Egypt and Israel. And so the American taxpayer pays for that peace. We send money to Egypt and we send money to Israel, and we buy a peace. The American taxpayer buys the peace. And that was Camp David Accords, and we still do it. And so you ask yourself, is this the job of the United States taxpayer? When oil prices go to hell in the 70s and leading up into the Islamic Revolution, these are people who by this time are done with the Shah, but they don't foresee who's in the wings, and who's in the wings is Ayatollah. Ayatollah. And so
the Ayatollah, yeah.
So the Carter administration, no particular friend of the Shah's, and people. This book is called King of Kings. I really recommend it to you, and how the Iranian Islamic Revolution takes place and ousts the Shah, and replaces him with this anti-American supreme leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. I remember his middle name. And the United States State Department, and then they became these, we're going to overthrow that government as we did before. And you have to ask yourself, how would you feel if you found like the invading army or someone was planning on this for you, and it's easily foreseen, and there's a great law that seems to hold up. Nobody likes their country invaded. No one. No one likes their country invaded. And if there was getting off some boats off the coast of Delaware right now, there was an Islamic army that was here to do whatever they were going to do, I think everybody would pick up a rifle and start walking east to stop them. And that's what I think we misunderstand.
Yeah, we would immediately cease being patriots, and we would wake up insurgents the next day.
Well,
exactly.
So,
we would be the insurgents then.
But when George W. Bush and Cheney and Wolfowitz and Rumsfeld and that whole crew, following 9/11, and remember, there was no Iranians on any of those airplanes. There was no, certainly weren't any Afghans on those airplanes. And who becomes the targets? Afghanistan and Saddam Hussein.
That group of great leaders that you just named.
Yeah.
Okay, they went to the Middle East and they demonstrated what they really, really, really were.
For sure.
They are liberals, and they outspent your great-great-great-grandchildren by spending their tax futures during their administration and siphoning off the profits.
As bad as that was, and it was financial loss, the death toll of what took place in Afghanistan and what took place in Saddam's Iraq. And that's not wasted on Iranians. It's not wasted on North Koreans. I'm not defending the mullahs, and I'm not defending the Communist Party in North Korea. I'm not defending them. But just look through their eyes and see what they see. And they don't see... Neil Sheehan named Lyndon Johnson's Vietnam policies, he named them the bright shining lie. Not just a lie, but a bright shining lie. And what W, and to me it's interesting, they trot W out to go after Trump. They're using him now to attack Trump. If there's anybody that does not deserve the right to attack anybody, let alone Donald Trump, it's George W. Bush. Dick Cheney's dead. Wolfowitz, where are the rest of them? Rumsfeld, they're gone. But they had their own war. They had no reason to have that war. There was no reason to. The people who backed 9/11, they were Saudi Arabians. That's who was on those planes. That's where the money came from. Our financial
system relies on
oil.
That war and the next war.
Yeah.
We're going to need a war real soon to reconfigure the alignment of the world's financial system.
So when you ask yourself, when now Donald Trump has lined up a strike, and I think it'll probably happen this weekend, it's a good time to do things like this. But why is he doing this? Is he doing it to cover up for all these Jeffrey Epstein papers that are coming down? We're reading them endlessly.
Certainly.
I mean, there's something.
The national address is right around the corner.
Yes.
And he does not want to. He wants to talk about the successes in Venezuela and the successes that are about to happen on a limited basis in that nightly national address. He does not want to talk about training young girls to be women, which is what Epstein and the boys were doing.
I'm not sure I'm trying to read a lot of this, but I'm not clear on who stands where. And
I'll tell you what I'm clear on. I'm clear on our national leader, our leader of the military, and his past And I'll tell you what, I will never be convinced that bone spurs are in any way patriotic, no matter what happens.
All right. 303-696-1971. Good afternoon. Lines are open. Dan Caplis Law, and Danny suggests you choose a lawyer who shares your values, because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you and everybody involved in the case. Danny's my guy. Son of a police officer. We talked about Danny growing up being a golfer and coming out here and playing golf at CU. And Dan's former seminarian and believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar jury verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Danny's also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado history. Dan Caplis Law, the official law firm, official partner of the Denver Nuggets, the Colorado Avalanche, Danny's law firm. And we had a problem in our family, and he really came through. Call him 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, Dan Caplis Law. for this. There you go, Tennessee whiskey, right? Yeah. This show really went fast. I just sat down and it's almost over. 16 minutes until 1 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone, and we're back next week. And I need to say it again. We had Joel Altman lined up to be here a week from this coming Saturday. He can't make it, so we moved him out ahead. He was coming this coming Saturday, and we had to move him out ahead. He had something else that he had scheduled. And Jonathan Flora comes back and is with us. So we go to David. David, you're on a radio show. Good afternoon.
Hey, morning, Peter. Yeah,
Hey,
I don't know if you noticed it, but a little south of Washington, D.C., a couple of days ago, there was a massive sewage spill.
Yeah.
And it also spilled a whole bunch of irony because the stench is getting into Washington, D.C., just at the time that there's going to be the State of the Union. And all of these people are going to have to head back there on Tuesday to be able to endure the State of the Union speech, and they're going to have to smell that stench. And so are they going to admit that that the region, the nation has a problem? I think I remember the Dust Bowl days. Congress didn't want to deal with the Dust Bowl issue until actually a great big storm of the dust reached the outskirts of Washington, D.C. So I'm wondering if there's a little irony in all that.
I've read about the it's a sewer line. I thought sewage is what I remember reading. Is that true? That what you're talking about?
Yeah, and apparently they can't turn it off.
Yeah.
It's like, what? They had, how many years did they shut down government because they didn't want to fix the infrastructure of America?
Why can't
they refused to fix the infrastructure of America? Now when the sewage is running straight toward D.C., they finally got a chance to think about it, and the old slumlord doesn't want to fix it, I'm betting.
Well, I would suspect that this will not be an issue, that people will go to the State of the Union, and there'll be more heady things that will be spoken about well beyond a sewage line. One of the questions I would have is, will this airstrike that looks like it's imminent, will this have occurred before the president speaks?
Well, yeah, or will more Epstein stuff show up? You're close enough to New Mexico to know that there's a lot of scary stuff showing up, dead bodies in Epstein's ranch down in New Mexico.
Have they actually have they actually found a body on that ranch?
Well, I was looking at one of the.
I don't think so.
They've been, there's this buddy of Trump that bought the land, and they've been renovating it, and disturbing the evidence, and the FBI still hasn't shown up. So you might be right. They may never find the bodies, but that would mean that they'd have to know where to go to find the bodies. And
again, you have to be a lot more secure and a lot more firm than just saying, I believe they're there. There's no there so far. And there's stories of the island, girls being buried on the island, or girls being buried, and his ranch is Zorro. I thought called it Zorro.
Right.
Right. But
some of these videos have. Some of these videos talk about videos. They won't show them on YouTube because they're pretty graphic. And so the bodies. I haven't watched any of these.
I haven't seen anything that said they have videos of any of this.
Yeah, they. You don't have a Facebook page. I don't know if I could find you one of those links. But there's somebody that has an email, and the email offers to sell them. There's about 6 different videos, and they'll take a Bitcoin payment for viewing of these graphic grisly videos.
Believe me, if blackmailers, if they are in force here, they don't make things obvious and say, and if you want this, then we'll sell it to you. They will go to somebody. It's blackmail isn't done that way. Blackmail is done very privately. And
I agree.
So
that's said, but never underestimate the cashing in on a spectacle.
yeah, but that could be end run. They're hoodwinkers. If they actually have, and I was reading this last night. If they actually had, and it's the same thing with the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. If you had it, you would not be doing it this way. The Ramseys were the same way. A 2.5-page ransom note that said, "Don't call the cops," and the first thing she does is call the cops. That's not how it's done, and neither is I don't know about the Guthrie kidnapping. I don't know if that lady's still alive. My bet would say that she's probably gone, but who has her or who did it? Wow. And will we ever find that out? Again, wow. I was convinced that was an inside job. I really was. I was convinced that had John Benet Ramsey written all over it. But
you're talking about the old
kidnapping
case.
Yeah, the Guthrie.
I'm confusing it with Guthrie. Yeah. I see. Just to wrap up, that sewage is still down there, and the stench is hitting D.C. As much as, you might think that it's going to be not discussed, the people in the audience are going to be able to see it. Like I was saying, the analogy to the Dust Bowl days, Congress didn't even believe there was a Dust Bowl problem till they saw the dust coming into D.C. itself.
Is that true?
And
because
there's
Oklahoma and Arkansas and Texas and
I know it blew across half of the United States.
Well, the representatives.
The Dust Bowl was so fierce.
I know it was fierce, but I didn't know then that no one in D.C. knew that the dust was there. It's the first time I've heard that, but they knew that.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of Will Rogers.
I am too.
And I don't think he was being ironic. I think I read about it in a Will Rogers piece. But it did take Congress people to realize the dust was coming their way. Maybe he might have been talking irony that it was hitting Tennessee and it was hitting Southern Illinois or something like that, and all of these Congress people
was here
in those districts.
Eastern Colorado got dusted.
I know, yeah.
The dust was real.
And my daughter turned me on to some videos on YouTube about how fast the Sahara Desert went. It basically only took, the Sahara used to be green from Morocco all the way to Egypt.
Sure.
And they did such bad agricultural practices that in about 100 years it turned to a desert. And so they've been trying to do remediation. There's a similar video that came out about a section in China where they had all of their biggest temples and the kings of China lived in this area that was very lush, and they basically ruined it there. It's called the Los Plateau.
I hate David. I have to do it to you, but I got about a minute. So thank you. Good call, brother. Thank you. All right, everybody. What a good show. What a really good show. We have to get Brother Jeff back and redo that part of it. But next week, and he was on the show with us. He's terrific. Jonathan Flora, and he'll be back in, do a wrestling show. But Joe Oltman, as I mentioned, will be the week after that. He'll be with us. He's in studio. But that music show was just superb. And to Chuck and to Stefan, thank you guys. You really, really made it work. That is it. We'll get in the wind, get your chin in the wind, get your knees in the breeze. And I will see everybody next Saturday. Take real good care of yourselves. Thank you.